Have you ever felt that initial spark of curiosity in a classroom just fizzle out? Replaced by that feeling of just trying to get through the day? Well, it turns out that's a feeling shared by way, way too many students and teachers. But what if there was a way to reignite that spark, to build a learning environment where everyone, and I mean everyone, can actually thrive? Well, today, we're going to dive into something called the Scholarship of Teaching and Learning, or SoTL for short. It's a really powerful idea that's starting to transform education from the inside out. Okay, so first, let's just get real about a problem that's hitting our classrooms hard: the burnout. The pressure to perform is just relentless. You've got standardized tests, jam-packed curriculums. The demands on both students and teachers have honestly never been higher. And this isn't just some minor annoyance. It's a full-blown crisis that's really starting to wear down the heart and soul of our education system. And this leads to a huge question, one we really can't afford to ignore anymore. Are the very teaching methods we've relied on for generations actually part of the problem? Is it possible our traditional approach to education is accidentally creating these high-stress environments that are burning everybody out? Well, the research is piling up, and it's telling us we really need to take a closer look. I mean, think about it. The conventional classroom, right? The teacher's up at the front, students are taking notes, and the main goal is just memorizing a ton of facts for the next big exam. Now, don't get me wrong, that model can be super efficient for getting information out there, but at what cost? We're now seeing a mountain of evidence suggesting this high-pressure approach is taking a serious toll on the well-being of everyone involved. So, what's the alternative? But here's the good news. The story absolutely does not end with burnout. As the cracks in that old system have gotten more and more obvious, a new philosophy has started to emerge. It's a whole new way of thinking about teaching and learning that puts well-being front and center without sacrificing academic excellence. It's a total game changer, and it's called SoTL. So, what in the world is SoTL? Well, the easiest way to think about it is to imagine a teacher acting like a scientist in their own classroom. Instead of just rigidly following a lesson plan, they're constantly experimenting, observing what happens, and tweaking their methods to see what really clicks for their students. It's all about taking the guesswork out of teaching and swapping it for a smart, data-driven approach that's actually customized to the learners in the room. And this is where SoTL gets really cool. It's not just one single thing. It's more like a recipe with 5 key ingredients that work together. First up, you've got transformative pedagogy. That's just a fancy way of saying we make learning relevant to the real world. Then you mix in reflective practice, where teachers basically become researchers. That leads to teacher dissemination, which is all about sharing what works with the rest of the community. This whole process is fueled by educational inquiry, asking the tough questions and looking for real evidence. And what's the end result of all this? Educational transformation, a system that's always getting better for everyone. Okay, so we've covered the what of SoTL, but what about the so what? I mean, why does all this really matter? Well, because a great education isn't just about passing tests. It's about growing into a well-rounded, resilient, and thriving human being. And that is exactly what SoTL is designed to foster, an environment where everyone, students and teachers alike, can truly flourish. Just take a look at this. It's a perfect snapshot of the SoTL effect. Over on the left, you see all the inputs, the ingredients for a great learning environment. Things like resilience, positive relationships, and a real sense of purpose. And when you put all those things together, what do you get? You get the amazing outcomes on the right. Students who are way more engaged, teachers who are more satisfied, and a school culture that isn't trapped in that cycle of burnout. It's a total win-win, right? And the really beautiful thing about SoTL is that it's not a one-way street. When teachers feel supported and empowered through things like mentorship and professional development, that positive energy flows right over to their students. And in turn, when students feel seen and heard and valued, they're so much more likely to dive into their learning and hit their full potential. It's this incredible ripple effect of well-being that can literally transform an entire school. Now, I know what you might be thinking. If SoTL is so amazing, why isn't every single school on the planet doing it already? Well, the truth is, changing something as big and complex as our education system is never easy. There are some pretty serious hurdles we have to get over, and it's important that we're honest about what they are. So what are we really up against? Well, for one, you've got that classic, but we've always done it this way mentality, which can be incredibly tough to break through. Then you have the practical stuff. Not enough time in the day, not enough resources to go around, and not enough chances for teachers to actually collaborate and learn from each other. these are real significant obstacles, and it's going to take a huge effort from everyone, from the classroom teacher all the way up to the superintendent's office to overcome them.
So, what's the big takeaway here? The challenges are definitely real, but you know what? So is the opportunity. This conversation about SoTL isn't just happening in a few random schools, it's becoming a global movement. And it's a movement that's calling for a massive shift in how we think about education for the sake of our students, our teachers, and frankly, our collective future.
Which brings us full circle. We've talked about the problem of burnout, and we've explored the incredible promise of SoTL. But the biggest question still hangs in the air. Do we have enough proof to really make this leap? Is it finally time to go all in on this new way of teaching and learning? And the answer is a big, resounding yes. But with a small catch. The evidence we have so far is incredibly compelling. Study after study is showing that SoTL leads to happier, more engaged students and more satisfied teachers. To really take this movement to the next level, though, we need to think even bigger. We need more research, more data, and more collaboration across different cultures to build a case for change that is absolutely undeniable.
And this is how we're going to get there. This is not a one-person job. It's a massive team effort. We need change happening at every single level. At the micro level, with individual teachers innovating in their classrooms, at the meso level, with school leaders setting a clear vision, and all the way up at the macro level, with policymakers creating the right environment for all this innovation to succeed. It's got to be a three-pronged attack. It's the only way to make real, lasting change happen.
And in the end, this is what it's all about. It's about creating a future where our schools aren't just places of learning, but places of thriving. A future where every single student and every single teacher gets the chance to reach their absolute full potential. The roadmap is there, the evidence is growing, and the time for change is right now. So the only question left is, are you ready to be part of it?